Hi guys, thank you and welcome to my channel. Welcome to Poise and Godly. Seriously guys, I got some news last week that made me excited. Yes, I never knew this video was going places. Somebody called me that lived in the northern part of Nigeria where they had issues, there are things going on in the country, especially at that part. And then he told me he's a missionary, and then he had to play one of my videos to some girls there, young ladies. And then he said while they played the video, some of them gave their lives to Christ. The video made them know that as young girls, as young ladies, they can do something with their lives. And then I got the news and I knew God was actually going to take us places, particularly from here. I am so excited about that. Thank you for every comment you've been dropping on my channel. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for the notification bells that you clicked on. It's all part of it. Thank you for always being there, for being a part of my journey. Today I'm going to be talking about my lockdown journey in 2020. Yes, my COVID-19 lockdown journey. It was an experience for me. In 2020, a lot happened in the world, and it was huge, especially the COVID-19 pandemic. It was a major thing that happened in the world and shook the world to its foundation. I'm going to be sharing with you some of the lessons I learned during that period. That lockdown period was something else for me. I was home all through. I wasn't working that time because I had a baby that I was looking after, but it was a new experience for me because I got to know many people that lost their lives, people that were close. I had neighbors that died. I had people that I knew one-on-one that that just left at that time, and it was a big lesson for me. One of the lessons I learned during the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic is that life is fickle. Life is fickle. Now you can see somebody today and tomorrow they are no more. A lot of us lost loved ones. We lost friends. The unexpected happened to lots of families all over the world. It was not a funny experience. It wasn't a good experience. So it made me understand that life is not something to take so seriously. It is not something that we will, want to kill the other person about, because we never have control over tomorrow. Only God does. So I had to come to this conclusion that life is fickle. Today we may be here, and tomorrow it's only by the grace of God. Now, the second thing I learned during the COVID-19 2020 pandemic is that relationship matters. Yes, we need to value our relationships. Now, you will see then that people had to start working from home. Husbands had to start working from home. Wives had to start working from home. A lot of people had to come together because the pandemic brought people together. There was desperation all over the place. People were depressed. People's mental health were affected. We needed love. A lot of lives needed peace. We just needed word of comfort. A lot of people needed hope. A lot of people just needed one person or the other to just give them a hug, to give them reassurance that something new or something good will come out of all of this, and everything will come to an end someday. So you will see that the relationships we built in the past, at that time, they really matters because they will help us. A lot of people needed one person or the other to just give them a hug. So family actually mattered. People called themselves because that was the only thing they had. Friends called. A lot of people had to have connection. The connections we built in the past were also very helpful during that season. We needed to connect with one another to give ourselves hope and, of course, reassurance. Another lesson I learned during the COVID-19 2020 pandemic is that time is short. Yes, time is short. I remember a lot of people came to me telling me that they had to do some things very fast, that there were things that they were planning to do, but they were just being slow about it. But of course, we had to come to that understanding then. The time is short and it doesn't wait for anybody. If God has called you to do one thing or the other, or if you have that nudge, if you know that there is something you ought to do that you've not started doing, I will advise that you make out time to start it up, no matter how little it is, because tomorrow is not promised. Time is short. That was a lesson I learned. Many people started going back to what they love doing. They started building things that they ought to have built. They started making plans about the things they ought to have started making plans about in the past, because they understood. They came to realize the time does not wait for anybody. Give that person that call today. Call that person you ought to have called today. Give to that person that you ought to have given to today, because tomorrow is never guaranteed. That was the lesson that the pandemic taught me in the year 2020. Another lesson I learned in the year 2020 is that God is sovereign. God is above all. I noticed this at that time, that science failed. There was no cure. People were looking out for cure. People were confused. There was confusion all over the world. And we had no choice at that time to look up to the one who can help us. To look up to the one whose strength will not fail when everything failed. We were forced to look up to God. That shows that God is sovereign. God is above all. God has the answer to everything. The whole world for the first time had to call upon the name of the Lord for help. God is sovereign above all. That was a lesson I learned in 2020 that the COVID-19 pandemic taught me. I hope I have been a blessing to you today, and I hope I've been able to let you know that life is fickle, time is short, relationship matters, and above all, God is sovereign and above all. Thank you very much for listening to me today. Please don't forget to click on the subscribe button and the notification button for more updates. I hope to see you some other time. Do have a great day. Bye.